Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into a case that really spirals. It starts pretty standard guy in a truly awful suit wants his missing wife found.
Yeah, but standard goes out the window fast. We end up tangled in, like, radical ideology, mobsters, loan sharks, bank robbery. It's intense.
Absolutely. Our mission today is to track how this apparently simple runaway wife case explodes. It all kicks off in Spenser's new digs, right? Mass Ave in Boylston, above a cigar store.
That's the spot. And his first client there is Harv Shepard.
Ah, Harv. Pale green leisure suit. You can just picture it, can't you? From Hyannis.
Definitely paints a picture. And he's clearly panicked, offering $100 a day plus expenses to find Pam, his wife.
Seems like textbook stuff at first. Even the local cops, Captain Deke Slade and Barnstable, they confirm it looks like she just took off.
Right, your classic domestic situation. But Spenser's initial read, well, it's pretty revealing and maybe a bit smug.
Yeah, he's chatting with Susan Silverman over lunch, Pier 4, I think, and he lays out his theory. Most runaway wives, they get this burst of, wanting freedom.
Maybe read some Ms. Magazine, saw Marlo Thomas on TV.
Exactly, think they want out. But then reality hits. They realize they have, quote, no marketable skills.
And the guilt kicks in, especially with kids involved. Youngest is 12 here, so Spenser figures they usually just come back.
But Susan immediately pushes back on that, doesn't she? Calls out his smugness.
Yeah, and rightly so. She points out he's kind of dismissing the real emotional weight behind it, especially back then. Early 70s, feminism wasn't just a fad for some women.
Good point. It was this powerful pressure, right? For women who'd maybe only ever been wives and mothers to find some other identity.
Exactly. It adds this whole layer of complexity. Pam isn't just running from something. Maybe she's running towards something, some kind of, radical change.
Okay, so it sets the scene perfectly. But if she just wanted change, why not, get a job? Or file for divorce? Why the drama?
Well, the clues start coming from inside the house. Spenser talks to Millie, the 16-year-old daughter.
And Millie gives this really crucial insight. It wasn't neglect driving Pam away. It was the opposite.
Totally. She says Harv treated her like a goddamn queen. Which sounds okay on the surface, maybe.
Maybe. But then Millie adds that he was always grabbing at her, just constantly needing attention, talking nonstop about his business, his money.
It wasn't a loving partnership. It was this relentless, kind of suffocating demand. She was the center of his world, yeah, but carrying the weight of his whole world.
Okay, that's heavy. So the home life is a mess. But then things take a sharp turn towards something much darker. Spenser goes to Hyannis, right? Stays at Dunphy's.
Yeah, to talk to Harv again. And that's when someone unexpected shows up at the Shepard house. Hawk. And Spenser knows him instantly from their old boxing days. Tall guy, black, wearing this powder blue leisure suit, pink silk shirt, unbuttoned way down.
Definitely making a statement.
Oh, yeah. Spenser pegs him immediately.
Yeah.
Professional enforcer. Muscle.
Hold on, so Harv hires Spenser to find his wife, but he's also got mob muscle hanging around his house.
Exactly. Big red flag, right. What isn't Harv telling Spenser?
It tells you Harv's problems are way, way bigger than just Pam leaving. This is organized crime territory now.
No doubt. But Spenser still has to follow Pam's trail.
Oh, yeah.
Captain Slade had mentioned she was sleeping around a little.
Which leads Spenser to the Silver Seas Motel, to Rudy, the bartender.
And Rudy confirms it. Pam was looking for young jocks and muscle men. Companionship, maybe?
Yeah.
Or something else.
Spenser tracks one down, Eddie Taylor, weightlifter, works the shovel.
And that encounter with Eddie, it really shows Pam's state of mind. Eddie says, yeah, she was eager that night.
But the morning after?
She just snaps, calls him a pig, he gets mad, hits her, and she ends up crying loud as a bastard.
Wow. So it's not about liberation. Maybe it's self-destruction. Or seeking some kind of conflict. It's complicated.
Deeply unstable, yeah. She's clearly in turmoil, driven by all sorts of things, ideology, personal pain. So where did she actually go?
Finding her takes some real old-school detective work. Spenser basically buries himself in paperwork. Phone bills, credit card receipts.
Like Bartleby the Scrivener, just meticulously going through the details, looking for patterns.
And he finds one. Calls and charges point to New Bedford, 3 Center Street, under the name Rose Alexander.
Right, so he heads down there, and this is where the runaway wife case officially collides head-on with, revolutionary zealots.
He gets to the house and finds Pam, but she's not alone. She's with Rose Alexander, who's apparently the group's theoretician.
And Jane, described as an Amazon, skilled in karate.
And Jane doesn't waste any time. She sees Spenser, assumes he's trouble.
And attacks him. Gets into a T stance, goes right at him. kicks him hard right in the groin.
Ouch. But Spenser handles it.
Yeah, despite the surprise and the pain. He notes her skill, but ultimately his size, he mentions weighing 95 kilos, benching 300 pounds, and his professional boxing reflexes take over. A left hook, and Jane's down.
Discipline versus ideology in a very physical sense.
Pretty much. And once the violence is over, the real story comes out. They talk later, near Plymouth Plantation, of all places.
And Pam confesses everything. She didn't just run away from Harv. She ran because she was involved in something huge.
An armed bank robbery. Bristol Security Bank. With Rose, Jane, and another woman named Grace.
Then the motive wasn't just cash.
No, not primarily. They needed money for guns. They saw themselves as fighting against phallic power and masculine capitalist oppression.
Okay, let's decode that a bit. They were trying to be like the Black Panthers, maybe, using violence as a political statement.
That seems to be the model, yeah. A direct violent strike against the system they felt oppressed by. But it went terribly wrong.
How so?
Jane shot and killed a bank guard during the robbery. A former cop, Fitzgerald. Fitzy.
Oh, man. So Pam isn't just a runaway wife. She's now an accessory to felony murder. Capital crime.
Exactly. The stakes are astronomically high now. And meanwhile, back in Hyannis, Harv's world is imploding too.
Right, because Hawk's presence wasn't random. Harv was in deep trouble.
Turns out he'd been skimming money, illegally dipping into client escrow funds for his company, Promised Land, Inc., after his parent company failed.
Classic white-collar desperation. And who did he borrow from to cover it up?
A loan shark, King Powers, borrowed $30,000.
Which sounds bad enough.
But the interest rate was 3.5%, weekly.
Whoa, yeah, you're never going to pay that back.
Nope. And when he couldn't, Powers sent his guys Hawk's associates, presumably to rough him up. That's where the mouse, the bruise, came from.
So you've got this perfect storm. Harv's a desperate embezzler facing mob collectors. Pam's mixed up with radical feminists who've committed murder. How does Spenser even begin to fix this?
Can't be simple, right? He needs something elaborate, something cynical maybe.
His solution is pure Spenser, isn't it? A kind of ruthless pragmatism.
It's brilliant in a dark way. A double cross combined with an entrapment scheme. He figures the only way to save the Shepards, who are flawed but maybe redeemable, is to offer up the real bad guys.
So how does he set it up?
Okay, two parts. First, he contacts Powers' guy, Macy, and pretends he wants to arrange a huge illegal arms deal. $100,000 worth of M2 carbines.
Setting up the mob boss.
Exactly. And he insists King Powers himself has to be there for the handover. At the Chelsea Market Terminal, early morning.
Okay, that's one side. How does he get Pam's associates there?
Cleverly, he puts a tiny classified ad in the New Bedford Standard Times. Just says something like, "Sisters, call me at."
Yeah.
And gives a number. Signed Pam.
Just enough to lure Rose and Jane, thinking Pam wants back in or needs help.
Right. He needs them, and presumably the stolen bank money they might bring, at the same location as the gun buy.
And then he calls the authorities.
Yep. Tips off the DAs in both Suffolk County and New Bedford, Lyndhurst, Clancy, Sylvia, McDermott. Tells them about the illegal gun sale happening, basically offering them King Powers and the bank robbers on a silver platter.
In exchange for leniency for the Shepards.
That's the trade. He's
Sure.
making a cold calculation. Sacrifice the truly dangerous ones, the mob boss, the killers, to save the couple who are, in his view, just kind of lost and messing up their lives.
That's ethically complex. He's basically playing God based on his own sense of thrift, as he calls it.
It's incredibly cynical, yeah. But the plan works. The climax unfolds exactly as planned. 6 a.m., raining, Chelsea Market.
Everyone shows up. Powers, Macy, Pam.
Rose and Jane, too. Powers gets in the cab of this Ryder truck where the deal's supposed to happen. Rose and Jane go into the back to check the guns.
Which aren't actually there, presumably, or are they part of the trap?
The guns are part of the setup for the police.
Yeah.
As soon as they're in place, Spenser gives the signal.
And the cops move in. The ones hidden in the produce trucks.
Raleigh's produce, yeah. They swarm the place. Arrests start happening.
But there's a twist here, isn't there, involving Hawk.
A huge one. Spenser and Pam are standing outside, guarded by Hawk. Powers sees the bus going down. He's furious, panicked.
And he orders Hawk to do what?
He yells a racist slur at Hawk and screams at him to kill Spenser. Right then and there.
And Hawk.
He refuses. Just refuses the order. Looks at Powers, looks at Spenser, and lets Spenser and Pam walk away.
Wow. So the professional killer, the enforcer, shows this moment of honor. Loyalty to something other than his paycheck.
It's stunning, isn't it? He has his own code. And clearly, being ordered around by a panicked, racist gangster like Powers violates it. It's this incredible moral inversion.
The guy paid to be violent chooses not to be, while the boss loses all control. That's memorable.
Definitely. But the danger isn't quite over yet. Powers gets out, or maybe his guys do, and they come looking for revenge later.
At the Shepard house.
Yeah. They show up, ready for violence.
Yeah.
But Hawk is there again.
What does he do this time?
He steps in, but not to fight for Powers. He basically forces a one-on-one fight between Spenser and Powers. Fair fight, mano a mano.
Okay. How does that go?
Well, Powers is out of shape, unarmed. Spenser can handle him. But interestingly, during the fight, Harv steps up. Finally. Tries to defend Pam.
Harv gets involved, actually shows some spine.
Maybe the crisis finally pushed him. Anyway, Spenser subdues Powers, cops are called again, and Powers gets arrested for assault this time.
So the immediate threats are neutralized. What about the Shepards themselves?
They end up in a coffee shop, having this very uneasy conversation. It's not a happy ending, exactly.
Tam says something pretty blunt, right?
Yeah. She says, basically, love isn't enough for them. They need psychiatric help.
And Harv. Does he finally own up to his stuff?
He does. Admits the financial crimes weren't just greed. It was about his desperate need to feel important, to be a man that mattered. His whole identity was tied up in that.
And Pam connects her actions back to that, doesn't she?
Directly. She talks about the unbearable weight of being the center of everybody's life, how their whole relationship was built on Harv's constant, needy, love me vibe.
So his insecurity fueled her desperation, and her radical actions were, in a way, a reaction to his suffocating neediness. It's all tangled.
Two people trapped in their own self-absorption, yeah. A really bleak picture of a marriage.
Meanwhile, Spenser's own personal life is shifting. He actually proposes to Susan.
On the beach, C Street, a big step for him.
But Susan's response isn't a simple yes or no, is it?
No, it's very Susan, very thoughtful, very challenging. She admits she might have wanted the assurance of him asking more than the actual consummated fact of marriage itself.
And she points out that their current relationship, because it lacks that formal commitment, maybe lacks real risk, real stakes.
Exactly. She says without that risk, maybe it's not a real relationship. It's this perfect intellectual counterpoint to Spenser's usual detachment.
Yeah.
She wants him to be all in, maybe.
So wrapping this all up, Spenser made this incredibly calculated choice, saving the Shepards, sacrificing the others, based on his idea of thrift.
Yeah, his personal moral accounting.
Yeah.
He decided the flawed, struggling couple who aren't getting their money's worth out of life were more worth saving than the ideologues and the outright criminals.
It's a tough judgment call, but maybe there's a kind of harsh wisdom in it, prioritizing salvageable lives, even messy ones.
Perhaps. But the thing that really sticks with you, I think, is that paradox of Hawk.
Right. The professional muscle and gunman ends up being the one who operates with a clear sense of personal integrity in critical moments, more so than the businessman, Harv, or the mob boss, Powers.
What does that tell you? When the enforcer has a stronger moral compass, or at least a more consistent personal code than the people employing him or the regular citizen, it makes you wonder where real honor actually resides.
That is definitely something to think about. Integrity showing up in the most unlikely, even dangerous corners. A great place to leave it. Thanks for diving deep with us today.